Good morning, everyone. Steve here. Welcome to this edition of Monday Morning Musing. We are right on the precipice of the Bar Kokhba Revolt. By the time the Bar Kokhba came around, the emperor in Rome was Hadrian. And Hadrian was, generally speaking, a peaceful guy. I'm not saying he was Mahatma Gandhi, but he understood that to have an empire that's in constant agitation is not helpful, it's not profitable, i.e. Hadrian's Wall in northern England, Scotland. Let's just stop this. Let's do something to stop this constant upheaval. So one of the things Hadrian did, he was a consolidator. He was not as much as an expansionist as some of the earlier emperors were. He says, listen, the emperor, this is getting unmanageable. Let's consolidate what we have. Let's not try to acquire more land. So one of the first things he did when he became emperor is he wanted to do a tour. He wanted to do a tour of the empire, and he wanted to go to Judea. So in 130 AD, he goes to Judea, and because of his reputation as a peaceful man, the remnants of the Jewish leadership take him to the Temple Mount, where the temple used to be. And Hadrian says, hey, we got to rebuild this temple. Oh, praise God. We have another Cyrus on our hands. Oopsie. Hadrian was also a smooth operator. Yeah, he wanted to rebuild the temple, all right. But he wanted it rebuilt for the pagan gods. And he wanted Jerusalem rebuilt as a pagan city. So even though the temple is in rubble and there's barely anybody there, it's still holy ground. And this idea is desecrating holy ground. And that's where Simon Bar Kokhba comes in. Rabbi Akiva can't have that, can't have this idea of these filthy pagan Gentile oppressors, building their pagan temple on our holy ground. Never mind, you've been killing each other by the thousands for decades, off and on. These people are terrible. We can't have that. So, Simon Bar Kokhba is the disciple of Akiva. And he comes on the scene. They nickname him the son of the star, the rising star, the star of Judea, tying it in with their own history. Now, later on, when things go south, which they do, they also call him the son of the lie. Victory has 1,000 fathers, defeat is an orphan, is the cliche. So, around 132, he launches a revolt. Now, he himself personally was not a very enjoyable fellow. He was considered a brute, an egotist. He wanted to set himself up as prince of Judea. Interesting, here's the guy that supposedly, let's get back to purity. That's the problem with all these. We want it like it was in the early church. No, you don't. And everybody that does, it's all about a power grab of the individuals and the building of reputations. History repeats itself. The personalities change, but history repeats itself, and human nature is the same. So, around 132, he starts a revolt. Now, this was indeed better managed than the previous efforts against Rome. It was more of a hit-and-run guerrilla type warfare. Very much like the Germans in the Teutoburg Forest, where they under oh my gosh, I forgot the guy's name. It's a digression anyway. It begins with a former Roman who came from a former German who lived in Rome, who betrayed the Romans, and against the virus in the Teutoburg Forest, they fought a guerrilla type warfare against the Romans, who had like a 15 or 20 mile long train of armor, wagons and all, in the forest, no room for them to fight. I'm not trying to get into a long digression on that, other than it's just an example of the way to fight a well-organized and disciplined army is with guerrilla tactics. Hello, Vietnam. Again, history defeats himself. So Bar Kokhba would fight these pinpointed attacks against Rome. Now, even though he himself was a brutish, ego-driven, power-hungry individual, he was supported not only by the local Jews, but even by non-Jews. And this is so mimetic too, because we hate each other until we have a common enemy we get to hate together. We'll cooperate against a common enemy. It's all against the one. So even the Jews and non-Jews participated in the Bar Kokhba revolt because of their hate for Rome. And all right, I'm going to leave you with this one, and I'll see you the next time.